Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of the Bastard Review. This time around I'm looking at ECW's last pay-per-view, Guilty as Charged 2001. This event took place on December 7th, 2001 in the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York, New York. We start off the night as always with Joey Styles and Joel Gertner in the ring. Joel recites some colorful poetry before introducing a tag team that he says are going places. Joey Matthews and Christian York. As they make their way down, they're attacked by Tony DeVito and Angel. The Baldy makes short work of the team, and then Jerry Lynn, who has now sided with Cyrus, come down, and Cyrus picks up the mock pin. Afterwards, Lynn cuts a promo about how he won't wrestle again unless it's in the main event. Our first true match of the night sees Danny Doring and Roadkill defend their ECW World Tag Team titles against Julio De Niro and EC Money, and if this is what qualifies for a title match in ECW for 2001, it is fortunate they filed for bankruptcy. While I have a passing mild interest in Doring and Roadkill as a team, to be fair, they're single wrestlers paired up who actually got the crowd into them. I absolutely do not buy them as tag team champions. At one point, Doring uses De Niro in a painfully obvious predetermined spot, and it looks like Danny blows it, hardly connecting with his target, Easy Money, on the outside mat. I could understand if these were green wrestlers, and to a degree Hot Commodity are, but Doring and Roadkill have been in ECW for a couple years now, and they should know better. Couldn't we have the FBI get a title rematch, or at least Tajiri and Whipwreck? The rest of the match is pretty by the numbers, and while the crowd was into it, there's really nothing here that makes it a worthwhile title match. I'm giving this a 4 out of 10. Post-match, Chris Hamrick gets into the ring and joins his buddies on beating down Doring and Roadkill. Say, this sounds familiar. Yup, you guessed it. The good guys get outnumbered and someone comes running out to make the save, this time in the form of Nova. From here we get what I'm supposing is an unscheduled match between Nova and Hamrick. I can buy this, since just a month prior Nova had a match against Hamrick's partner Julio De Niro, and I'm sure that he's been feuding with Hot Commodity during this time. What is it with ECW wrestlers doing a high spot at the beginning of the match? It works once in a great while, but it seems like all of the high flyers do it almost like clockwork. There's a big surprise at the end of the match, but it drags on for too long when Louis Dangerously and Spike Dudley get involved. A decent enough match, but it seems like it was all to bring back this person who left town. I'm giving this a 6 out of 10. After that, C.W. Anderson takes on Tommy Dreamer in an I Quit rematch from Massacre on 34th Street. Surprisingly, the match started with some actual wrestling, and proves that when needed, Tommy can wrestle. Unfortunately, it doesn't last long, and Tommy reverts to using outside objects to attack Anderson. Both men get busted open relatively early in the match, and from that moment until the finish, it's a painful-looking hardcore match. Using this stipulation feels a little too rushed. It seems like they just started their feud, and I would have utilized a different stipulation to progress it further. Still, as far as hardcore matches go, it's pretty entertaining. I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. Up next, Tajiri and Mikey Whipwreck take on the FBI, Kid Cash, and Super Crazy in a number one contenders 3-way dance. Honestly, this should have been for the tag titles. What a phenomenal match. All three teams play off each other superbly. At one point, Tajiri, Super Crazy, and Little Guido are all in the ring, and it's just like watching one of their great 3-way dances. There's a nice submission spot where Super Crazy has Little Guido in a surfboard, Tajiri has Mama Luke in a tarantula, and Mikey has Kid Cash in some kind of stretch. Afterwards, a few of them make their way to the outside of the ring, allowing for Super Crazy to do a plancha over the ropes into their waiting arms. But it doesn't end there. Kid Cash, in an attempt to outdo his partner, jumps on the ropes and does a corkscrew diving something or other. Suffice it to say, it impresses the crowd and me at the same time. There's also a series of moves that Whipwreck and Tajiri give Mama Luke. Well, I'll let Joey describe it. Yeah, an amazing match. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. After that, there's some crappy non-match between Balls Mahoney and Chili Willy taking on Simon Diamond and Johnny Swinger that lasts all 30 seconds before Rhino comes out and just attacks everyone. Up next, Steve Corino defends his ECW World Heavyweight title against Sandman and Just Incredible in a three-way dance ladder match. The fact that they air Sandman's entrance but not Corino's is somewhat stupid. I hate his entrance because he takes forever to get to the ring. All three men use the ladders for maximum efficiency. They also manage to incorporate a couple tables. Even Francine gets involved when she gives Sandman a Hurricane Rana spot that the cameraman just about misses. Towards the end, Justin and Steve go for the title when the rope the title is suspended from starts retracting, in effect causing the title to just be out of grasp, which I thought was a bit silly. Shortly after, Sandman picks up the victory, but it doesn't end there. The Baldies attack Corino Incredible, allowing Rhino to attack Sandman, goring him, and immediately challenging him to a title match. After a gore through a table, a pile driver through another table, and finally one last pile driver, ECW has a new champion, thus unifying the TV and world titles into one, since ECW isn't on TV anymore. It's odd that Corino lost only for Sandman to lose a minute later, but it does make for dramatic flair, and this would have allowed Sandman and Corino title shots down the road if ECW had lasted. All in all, a decent enough match. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. Cyrus challenges anyone to face his man Rhino, and the crowd pops when an ECW staple makes his return. Rob Van Dam. Rob and Rhino face off, but Rob gets blindsided when Jerry Lynn attacks him from behind. And finally, we get our main event, Jerry Lynn versus RVD. What a truly amazing match this was. The last time both men faced was back at Hardcore Heaven 2000, which I've yet to review, but I am aching to experience. Similar to when they faced for the TV title at Hardcore Heaven 99, this match had a lot of impressive moves. RVD goes to leap into Lynn in the corner, but Lynn jumps up and does a diving clothesline, which was beautifully done. A little later, Rob and Jerry have a series of consecutive dueling roll-ups, each man trying to get the pin that had the crowd whooping and hollering. Lynn also does a sick-looking German suplex with a bridge into the cover. The match is giving an epic 20-plus minutes, and both men utilize that time to really entertain the crowd and put on a phenomenal, memorable match. By far, match of the night. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. Overall, ECW's Guilty as Charged 2001 is a solid show. You've got 2 must-see matches on here, and a couple that have potential. There's still a bit of fluff in here that weighs the rest down, and it seemed like Heyman was trying too hard to get everyone on the show, but most of it can be overlooked. It was sad to see ECW meet its demise, especially since there were so many stories left unresolved, and it's a shame they never had a goodbye pay-per-view. ECW truly was one of a kind. ECW Compiles will have this in their collection, but even if you're just a casual wrestling fan, there's enough on here to keep your interest. I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Please tune in again to another Bastard review when I review another wrestling DVD in my collection, or anything else that crosses my path.